Hello, thanks for clicking on this video as I celebrate 50 years of hip hop as a mechanical engineer. If you're new here, my channel is about product development within the electronic, computer, and mechanical space, encouraging inexperienced tech users and makers to complete projects independently. If you have been enjoying or this is your first time here, please like, share, subscribe, and click on the notification button for continuous reminders of a upload. Continue to watch as I read an article about how a turntable works and hydraulics on a car. How a vinyl record is made. A master recording is made usually in a studio where engineers perfect the recorded sound. Then an object called a lacquer is placed on a record cutting machine, and as it rotates, electric signals from the master recording travel to a cutting head which holds a stylus or needle. The needle etches a groove in the lacquer that spirals to the center of the circular disc. The imprinted lacquer is then sent to a production company. There, the lacquer is coated in a metal such as silver or nickel to produce a metal master. When a metal master is separated from the lacquer, the resulting disc has ridges instead of grooves. The metal master is then used to create a metal record, also called the mother, which is then used to form the stamper. Stampers are just negative versions of the original recording that will be used to make the actual vinyl records. Next, the stamper is placed in a hydraulic press and vinyl is sandwiched in between. Steam from the press softens the plastic as the stampers push an impression of the master recording onto it. Finally, the disc is stiffened using cool water. Once the record is ready to be played, it will need a proper machine to bring its sounds to life. How records are played. The turntable is the circular plate on which the record sits. A rod positioned in the center holds the record, which has a hole in its center in place. The metal turntable is covered in rubber or plastic, which protects the record from being scratched. The turntable rotates or spins with the help of either a belt drive or direct drive system. The stylus or needle is the smallest and perhaps the most important component of the record player. It is made from a diamond or other hard material, shaped like a cone, and suspended by a flexible strip of metal. The pointed end is the only piece that touches the top of the record, and it rides around the spiraling grooves of the disc, picking up the vibrations which are ultimately turned back into sound. The stylus sits at one end of the tone arm, which is mounted to the side of the turntable and sits parallel to the record. With the needle or stylus placed in the outermost groove of the record, the tone arm follows the groove as it spirals inward, traveling across the record in an arc as the record spins beneath it. As this happens, the vibrations travel along a flexible metal strip and wires housed in the tone arm to the cartridge in the end of the tone arm. The cartridge receives the vibrations, which are converted to electrical signals through a coil in a magnetic field. The electric signals are carried along wires to the amplifier, which enhance the power of the signal. Finally, the signals are converted back to sounds that come out through the speakers. Initially, recorded sounds were mainly monophonic, meaning all of the sound signals are combined and come through one speaker or a channel. The introduction of stereophonic sound systems in 1958 allowed for a richer, more lifelike sound as two sets of sound waves were recorded. When played, the vibrations traveled simultaneously along two different channels and are converted and dispersed through 2 different speakers. There's a link in the description box that visually goes over the process of how a vinyl is made. Now, there are different DJ setups where, for instance, you can choose between a vinyl setup or a DJ controller. These mixes help to produce those lovely hip-hop sounds that we all cherish, using our grandmammy's records all while rapping with the melody on top. You may click on the link in the description box to see how DJs utilize the vinyl records and or DJ controller for mixing sounds together. If you ever watched a hip-hop video, you may notice a car bouncing. This is a hydraulic system that's in the vehicle. A hydraulic suspension can quickly raise and lower the car, making it hop and jump or dance. Some low-rider shows have dancing car contests. A hydraulic suspension uses a hydraulic actuator, a bladder that can be filled quickly with fluid. It's attached to a compressor which shoots liquid into the actuator with incredible force, causing it to expand rapidly. Think of it as a small explosion within the actuator. The actuator expands with the force of the fluid entering it, and as it does so, it pushes hard on the components around it, causing them to spring away. This is the same principle that you'll use to jump off the ground. You exert a force from your legs against the ground, and that force propels you upward. When the force is removed, because you're no longer touching the ground, you come back down. Actuator systems exert force that causes the car to push against the ground. Since the ground isn't going anywhere, the car goes up. An actuator system is usually powered by several extra car batteries in cases where it would be unsafe for anyone to be in the car because it can hop so high. The actuator is controlled by a remote switch. These types of suspensions are complex and expensive. A single actuator or pump can cost around $500, and at least 2 and up to 4 are needed for each car. Other necessary components like batteries cost extra, and installing such a system is extremely labor intensive. Both air and hydraulic suspensions are considered height adjustable suspensions because they can raise or lower the car. However, when most people think of a height adjustable suspension, they are thinking of a suspension that can raise or lower a car slowly, changing its stance before a crowd. This modification allows drivers to raise the car while they are driving it, avoiding imperfections in the road, and lower it when they get to their destination, allowing the car to look its best. Thank you for joining me on honoring and celebrating 50 years of hip-hop. I hope that you enjoyed this journey of how things are made and operated. Don't forget to comment with your favorite mechanical gadget from the hip-hop genre. Until next time, bye-bye.